Greetings. Before we begin, I want to offer you a question. Tonight, beneath this blue moon in Sagittarius, a moon that invites us to look at what we believe and why, I want to explore something with you. Not a new belief or a new answer, just a quiet question. But before we do, take a breath in. Seat, feet, ground, return. And if you've been here before, you already know these words. Something begins to settle. The noise moves a little further into the background, and the body remembers what the mind forgets. And beneath all the thinking, there is a quieter place to be, just waiting. A place that doesn't need to rush toward an answer. A place that can simply listen. And from that place, deep inside of you, I want to ask you something. Is it possible that a belief you've been carrying was never actually yours? That you didn't choose it? Someone handed it to you during a moment that felt important enough to organize your life around it. And because you were young or frightened, or because someone you trusted said it as though it was simply the truth of things, your body took it in and held on. And it's been holding on ever since. There may be something you've been carrying for so long that it no longer feels like a belief. It feels like a part of you. And you may already know what it is. Or you may simply know the feeling of carrying it. The effort. The pressure. The way your shoulders rise before you realize that you're bracing. The way rest feels like something that has to be earned. The way you keep returning to the same conclusion about yourself, even when part of you wonders if it's actually true. And maybe it sounds like this. I have to earn my rest. I'm just too much. This is just the way that I am. Or perhaps it doesn't arrive as words at all. Perhaps it's more like a knowing that lives somewhere in your chest, your throat, or your belly. A certainty about who you are, about life, and about what you can expect. And for a moment, I want you to just let yourself be with that. Not to fix it, not to argue with it. Simply to acknowledge that it's there. Because when we stop trying to override what we're feeling, we begin to hear it differently. And beneath the thought, beneath the story you've told about it for years, there's often something else waiting. Is your jaw a little tight right now? Is your breath a little shallow? Just notice the weight of what you've been holding. And there's no need to force anything. We are simply exploring. And the body often knows more than the mind can explain. And from that place of exploration, a question sometimes begins to emerge. Where did this come from? And not as an investigation and not as a search for evidence, just an honest wondering, an honest inquiry. Because one thing I've learned after more than 25 years of this work is that the beliefs that exhaust us most are rarely ours alone. They come through family ties, through fear. We inherit them through moments that leave a mark, through experiences that felt true enough for the body to write them down as law. The body is very faithful that way. It carries what it learns. And I've followed feelings into my inner world many times. And one of those journeys began with a deep and long-standing love for plants, herbs, and healing. A feeling that seemed older than this lifetime. As I stayed with it, an image began emerging. A woman with no name, and growing up, the people simply called her Girl. She became the medicine woman of her village, and she gathered the herbs and the roots that she understood, the knowledge that lived in her hands. Whether that was memory, metaphor, or something in between, it doesn't matter. What matters is this. The feeling had a story. You don't have to find anything dramatic tonight. You simply have to ask, was this mine to begin with? And if something in you responds with no, or maybe, or not entirely, allow that possibility to be enough. Because you don't have to understand the whole story. You don't have to trace every thread. You can simply recognize that some of what you've been carrying may have been handed to you. And if it was handed to you, it can also be set down. There's nothing you need to do with that recognition. Just let it be true for a moment. Just let yourself feel what happens when you stop holding it quite so tightly. And don't struggle with it. You don't have to push it away, and you don't have to fight with it. You don't even have to understand it. Just acknowledge and simply say, this does not belong to me. I did not choose this, and I am allowed to put it down. Not because I've solved it, and not because I've earned it. Simply because it was never mine to carry. And if some part of it wants to stay a little longer, let that be okay too. Your body has its own pace. Notice what shifts, even slightly. Sometimes it isn't dramatic. Most times it isn't dramatic. Sometimes it's simply a small loosening, a fuller breath, a softer jaw, a little more space in the chest than there was a moment ago. And that is often how change begins. Not through revelation, through a recognition. The recognition that something that you've been treating as truth about yourself may simply be an old inheritance. And unlike the younger version of you who first received it, you now have choices. The blue moon isn't asking you to build a new belief system tonight. No, it's inviting you to become a little less certain about the beliefs that have been claiming you. Because underneath them, beneath all the stories, conclusions, and inherited truths, something steady remains. Your body already knows the way. Stay with that for as long as you like. And whenever you're ready, you may open your eyes.